Good evening, and thank you all for joining me today. Because of the situation that is unfolding across our nation over the last few days, I wanted to make a statement and to share some of my thoughts on this occasion. Not in any way in my official capacity as the Student Council President of Hamilton High School, but rather as a citizen of this country. And because I love my country and feel it is my duty to speak out. I first of all want to say that the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police is unacceptable. And police brutality should have no place in the United States of America. Anyone with any ounce of humanity would be outraged looking at the footage. It should make you cry. My deepest sympathies, prayers, and respects are with the Floyd family. Next, I want to say the following things. I do not whatsoever condone the looting, burning, and destruction of businesses or property, many of which are minority owned, many of which took years of hard work and determination to build. I do not condone or accept the trending acronym ACAB, which stands for All Cops Are Bad. This is not true, nor do I condone any violence against anyone, especially the police. I do not accept violence or of any kind. More violence will not solve or fix the violent act that killed George Floyd. I understand why people are angry. I understand why our African-American brothers and sisters are angry. Ladies and gentlemen, I am angry, and I share in that pain, sorrow, and anger with you. Now, I will say this. Black lives matter. Police brutality exists. White privilege exists. And I, like every single one of you watching this, has long ingrained racial bias. By just saying and recognizing these things, we can begin to fix the deep and systemic racism that exists in our society. But this alone will not be enough, because all of what I just mentioned was going on long before today. It's about time we do something about it. We could start by caring about Black lives, because if we did what happened to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Philando Castile, Laquan McDonald, and the hundreds of other Black men that have been slain in the streets of America would have never happened. It's about time that we end mass incarceration, stop and frisk, and racial profiling, because after all, if it has been proven that Black and white people commit the same amount of crime, why do we need to continue to do this? We can start by ending police brutality. How do we fix that, you may ask? Well, we can ensure that when police commit murder, that they get charged with murder. We can better train cops to understand how their own racial biases may affect their work. We can recognize that police are paid by taxpayer money to serve us, the people. It's not the other way around. Yet, we can do this without stigmatizing all cops as bad people, because 99% of them are not. They get up every day and do hard, dangerous, and often thankless work so we can be safe. We can start by declaring that white privilege exists. I mean, do we need any more evidence that it does exist? Maybe we can start to truly get a grip on just how lucky we are. And we must stop denying our Black and brown brothers and sisters their rightful place in our society. We could start by declaring that we have long ingrained racial bias. You may say to yourself, oh, I'm not a racist. I don't see color. I believe in equality and would never discriminate. Well, you may not be a white supremacist or a neo-Nazi or a member of the Ku Klux Klan or a 3%er, but you're still 80% the problem. See, racism is like a pyramid. At the top, you have the fringe viewpoints that I just mentioned. Then below, it's the little acts that you may do frequently through no fault of your own because it's been ingrained in your brain since you were born. Like crossing the other side of the street when a black man is coming your way. Or mentioning a, quote, suspicious black man in the neighborhood at the neighborhood watch meeting. Or by not looking at an African-American man in the eye in a public place because you do not want to attract attention. Or by harmlessly laughing at racial stereotypes. All of us, including myself, have done this at one point or another in our lives. It's what we have been shown. It's what we have been depicted to us all of our lives. So I am calling on all of us to recognize these deep biases we all have. I am calling on all of us to embrace diversity. I am calling on all of us to listen and to hear from those who have experienced bias and discrimination just because they have a darker skin color. The problems that we face will not go away overnight and cannot alone be fixed by legislation. We can start to ease the tension through love, compassion, understanding, and empathy. So instead of saying, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, let's say, when inhumanity starts, only love can stop it. Martin Luther King had a dream that black boys and girls and white boys and girls would join hands one day as brothers and sisters. Jesus told to love your neighbor as ourselves. There is still time to make this a reality. And I believe that because we are the United States of America, we must do it. Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.